Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. Today I want to talk about why I think so many people are broke today and financially struggling. Now, I'm going to tell you a lot about why I used to be, why I now understand the factors involved, and why I had previously been broke many times. And although it's not going to explain why so many people today are, but I think there are various factors as to why people are broke today. And yes, I understand that the cost of living is sky high and that jobs don't pay like they should to maintain a decent lifestyle. And I get that rents are skyrocketing and houses are more and more expensive and more difficult to qualify for a mortgage. And even if you do get a mortgage, it's difficult to make that mortgage payment every month. But there's some factors that I see that applied to me over the years, that I made some really bad financial decisions. And I think some of that may be contributing to why some people are broke today. Not everybody, but some people. So I'm going to flip this around, and there's a couple of loons out there floating around, and I hope I can video them. They keep diving down in the water. Cool to watch. And they were out there, but they're probably underwater. So I used to be broke, flat broke, meaning I never called myself homeless, but I called myself in between apartments. I never lived in my car, never lived on the street, and I believe that was because I always had a friend who would let me hang out for a little bit on their couch, or I always came up with a way to either have enough money for a hotel room and find my next job or something, but I somehow always figured it out. But yes, there were many times that I was definitely broke, and by broke I mean $10 in my wallet broke. So my reason for not handling my finances correctly were all emotionally driven. And that means that I let my emotions dictate my decisions. And by that I mean, I used to believe that even though I might not be able to afford that house, I was going to buy it anyway. And somehow I was going to make it work. And I bought that house on emotion. Now, this was a beautiful farm in New Hampshire. I had a good sizable down payment. And yes, I am walking barefoot in the water. It feels great on this really hot day. And it was a little one bedroom, absolutely adorable, on 12 acres, post and beam, where I could have my horses and my dogs. And I immediately blew all my money building a beautiful barn for my horses, getting all the furniture I wanted. And even though I had spent all my money and could barely make the mortgage payment, I told myself, I'll figure it out. I can do this. Well, I lived there for 10 years. But what happened was, with each month that I did make the mortgage payment, I didn't have the money to keep up with the house repairs. And little by little, things started breaking. The washer quit, the oven quit, the well pump quit. The roof needed to be replaced. The porch was falling off. Oh my gosh. And Finally, after 10 years, I sadly realized I could not afford it. And I gave it back to the bank. And sadly, I had to find my horses homes, and I very much regret that. But what had started this slow, painful process was that I had bought property on emotion, not on what my finances could logically support. I was not living within my means. I was living way beyond my means. And that is one reason why I live off-grid today, because I live way below my means. And my tiny mortgage payment is but a fraction of what I receive with Social Security and my pension. And now with YouTube, I don't even need that money. I just put it in my savings account. And let me tell you, living within your means that you can sleep at night, you can treat yourself on occasion to that special dinner that you've been wanting to make yourself. You can treat yourself to that really high quality winter coat when you used to wear the cheap ones. And for those really, really comfortable hiking shoes that you were never able to afford. But what's even better is you have that money in your bank that you don't need anymore. And that's huge. But here's another reason why I used to be broke. Because when I was younger, I used to think, that's okay. I have time to pay my debts. I have time to pay my credit cards. I'm young. I have all these years ahead. I'll get another job. I'll make more money. Maybe I'll get a raise. Well, all of that is emotionally and illogical thinking. And that always led to doom and gloom. Oh, and here's someone that's going to go boating. And Sheppy's going to bark. Now, I see a lot of people these days, and he's going to launch his boat. I see a lot of these younger people these days buying these beautiful homes with these equally large mortgages. And maybe they can make the payment month to month. But that interest is going to weigh them down for years. And that house is going to need repairs and upkeep and insurance and property taxes. And if they bought that house on emotion, that emotion might change when the reality hits of the financial obligation. Your health might change. Your relationship might change. When I married a man who I had had a previous relationship with, he had been very abusive to me, very financially immature. But when I met him again, I had high hopes that he had changed. And ultimately what happened was his temper had not changed. He could not keep a job. He never contributed to the mortgage. And I shouldered all of the financial responsibility for that house until I ultimately threw him out and got a divorce. And that is another lesson that I think oftentimes people will depend on a partner or someone else for financial security. And I believe some of the homeless out there are homeless because they were depending on somebody else, either a family member or a romantic relationship that did not work out. And to me, being dependent on someone else for financial stability is so scary. And I would never, ever do that again. So for me, I now treasure living below my means, and I absolutely don't buy anything that I don't need. I see a lot of people completely captured by all the materialistic junk that's out there, and using their credit cards to satisfy that instant gratification. And suddenly they find themselves losing their homes to foreclosure or filing bankruptcy. Now, I wasn't any different because I bought that house in New Hampshire that I couldn't afford. But I learned the hard way, and I will never live beyond my means again. Now, I did something else that was really, I'm not going to call it stupid because I'm not a stupid person, but I used to be very, very generous with my money. Even way back when I was 18, waitressing, I used to come home with hundreds of dollars in tips, even back then. And if my friends needed money, I'd just hand them cash, knowing they would never pay me back. Yeah, what a friend, right? They thought, hey, Barbara's making good money, she can afford it. So if you're doing financially well, be careful who you loan money to. I mean, look at all these fake scam romance things. Oh my gosh. They target these poor lonely women, and they successfully steal their money in many cases. And again, it's all emotion, appealing to people's emotions to give your money away. And I understand that in today's world it's so very difficult to get by. But I wonder how many homeless people, either they're suffering from drug abuse or mental issues. I think a lot of it is related to our emotions, and our emotions have dictated some really bad choices. And I say that because there are people doing well financially. There are people who have beautiful homes and are able to afford it. And there are people who have successful careers. And so my video today is about don't do what I did. Don't make bad financial choices based on emotion. If you see something that you really want, wait. Let that high emotion pass and ask yourself if you really need it or if you just really want it in the moment. And that will really help you long term, especially if you're a young person and you think you have all this time to pay off that credit card. Because let me tell you, credit cards can be a really bad habit. And once you start using them, it becomes almost routine to use it again. Stop it, Maggie, stop it. So I've got to stop it because here's some hikers and my dogs are barking. Stop it. And ask me any questions that you want about some of the really bad financial choices I made and how absolutely amazing it is to not have any financial debt anymore. I do not have any more credit cards, and my only monthly payment is my phone, my truck insurance, and my very, very small mortgage, which is very, very achievable. So live within your means. Don't buy things you don't need. Save your money so you can sleep well at night. And be careful who you loan your money to. I hope this video helped you. Take care, everyone, and hope you're having a great day.